unregimented.
ChristopherMedia.net.
Me, but also you. The Pharaoh fast forwards his favorite foreign film, Powder Donut. Okay, what's my line?
The only line I see here on the script is get options based on your budget with the Name Your Price tool from Progressive.
Oh man, that's a tongue twister, huh? I'm sorry, I'm gonna need a few more minutes. Bulbous Walrus, the Bulbous Walrus.
The Name Your Price tool, only from Progressive.
The owl ran afoul of the comatose coxswain.
Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Price and coverage match limited by state law.
Christopher Media. Let's make some noise. From Asthma Core Studios near Detroit, Michigan. It's unregimented.
Gangsters, what's up, guys?
And now, here are your hosts.
All right, it's unregimented for... who the fuck knows? It's I'm Chris.
I'm Rich. I'm the Iceman.
Oh, yeah, no Aaron today. I'll be back. But Ice, you're fired up. Ice, you wanted to come on today. And we didn't... You started explaining and we stopped you because we didn't want you to blow your load. I mean, pretty much, it's just, shit's all fucked up, and it's just getting even more fucked up. And I wish Aaron was on, because they're outside the museums now, so what's next? We're going inside. And then, where do we begin? Ice, let's just start with why I cut you off, and you were fired up to come on. Why were you fired up to come on?
It's about everything this show's about. And, I am fired up. But it's for the culmination of reasons. I'm tired of everybody talking about all the divides in this country. That the divides that this country has for its people is its government. It's their whole way of life. That's why I call it a machine. They set people up to talk about things on two different sides. And I say things because it can be fucking anything at this point. Proven in 2020, it can be anything. And we will go toe-to-toe with each other, fighting each other.
Well, yeah,
my question is... No, go well, good.
No, you go ahead. Sorry, you were about to ask a question. Ask it.
My question is why? Chris, Rich, Earl, Aaron... anybody you're going to talk to and try to fight with your opinion ain't going to matter a good goddamn. Neither one of us, nobody that you're going to talk to makes the rules. We don't make laws. We can't change laws. If we agree with your opinion, disagree with your opinion, does not matter. We can't change it. So you win a small victory because you intellectually have a better opinion of something than I do, according to you? Who fucking who? and I ask you to do this. Don't take my word for it. I'll leave it at this. Go to your Facebook, go to the memories, and I'll guarantee you 4 years ago, you shared something about race. Something. It was there. It's a cycle. It is the machine that fuels Washington, D.C. They make a profit out of keeping us fighting each other. And then they sit back and laugh. And the only thing that gets done is the rich get richer, the poor get poorer. That's it. They'll give you some lip service, people. Let me tell you. And it's all over the place. You've heard it. We'll give you a whole month. Black people celebrate Black History Month. Oh, well, we'll give you Juneteenth. People, go ahead. Oh, we'll take down statues and we'll tear down flags and we'll do this and that. They'll give you the lip service all frickin' day.
Yeah, meanwhile,
and that's all it is.
Meanwhile, haven't both police reform bills in Congress died?
Right. That's all it is lip service. About anything, race, your culture, your financial, it does not matter. They will make people fight about fucking anything. And it's a profitable business for them. You burn down buildings, you deface statues, you protest, and you do all this shit, and it's going to change nothing. You know what it's going to change? Your taxes. I said this before. They're going to raise the taxes so you have to pay for everything you destroyed. Good on you for having your point. Good on you for having a good cause to support. And it's on video and all that good shit. But it changes nothing. You can argue all day long about Black Lives Matter, white privilege, Biden, Trump, which one? It does not fucking matter. Because you're changing absolutely nothing. And everybody says, well, okay, then what do we do? You have to put the divides aside. Understand everybody's going to have an opinion, and that's okay. But anything that you want to sit and debate, put it aside. Join hands with a black person. Join hands with a white person. Latino, Asian, whatever the fuck. Everybody join and collectively go to Washington, D.C., make them be by the people, for the people again. That's the only way you're going to change. Otherwise, you're not doing a damn thing but destroying your neighborhood and trying to prove your opinion to people that it does not matter to.
All right. Look, you got almost a completely uninterrupted rant. I'm going to respond to it as best I can. It's not going to happen.
I know.
Okay? And it's this simple. This is why. We are not in the driver's seat. We have aged out. The age of irrelevance is 40. The only relevance you hold is that politicians certain politicians will now pander to you because you're older, and the older demographic statistically votes more than the younger demographic. Corporations, all that shit, they don't give a fuck. It's about the bottom line. Yeah. The almighty dollar. Politicians, I've said this to Obama supporters, damn near cult figures or cult members, and the Trump cult members, and they both get mad and they both bring up the other person. So if it's an Obama cult member, I'm like, what really changed under Obama's watch? Did all the foul shit we do around the world behind the scenes stop? Did your life get better? Was it Vengeance Day on Whitey? No. To all that, nothing changed. All the bullshit kept going. The same pockets were getting greased. The same people were getting richer. Okay, so tell me why I should deify this man. Well, Trump. Okay, I'm not talking about Trump. And when I mentioned under Trump, how's your life gotten fucking better? Has all the bullshit that just went on behind the scenes stopped? All the same questions. Well, Obama. Okay, all right. We're tribal, dude.
What's it?
We have a generation who has now been raised, and a second generation who's just coming out of high school. So two generations who they don't see themselves having to change to make the world a better place. They think the world should change to make their lives easier. And you can't do anything with those people.
All the people that generally have a bug up their ass about Trump, it's the same thing. I want to ask, how is your life different than it was 4 years ago? Unless you were an immigrant. Generally, you have some more arguments on the holidays. You yell at your family members a lot. We get more arguments on social media. But generally, until March, how has your life been different since 2016 to 2015?
And that's a question that they'll bullshit. They'll plant bushes to beat around. They won't want to answer. Well, whatever. This is why I'm almost at the end of my rope with this podcast, because it's the same shit every fucking week. It's the week in Trump. We hate on Trump. Trump sucks. Blah blah blah, and then just this bullshit. And you are right, Earl. It is cyclical. These same fucking subjects come up on a year to year and a half to 2 year period. It seems like. I can't count how many times we've talked about different police videos we've seen of police of all races beating the shit and killing the people of all races. But as you yourself have learned, you can't say that.
Well, I've said this too many times this week, and it's indirectly quoting you. We say we want to have an honest conversation, but we don't really want to have an honest conversation, because when we start having an honest conversation, we shut it down.
Absolutely.
The best way I've heard this put is, people don't want to hear your opinion. They want to hear their opinion coming out of your mouth.
Yeah. It's ding, 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 ding.
And dude, here's the thing. As someone who's been sitting here for a decade and watching this shit happen, these people who are willfully ignorant, who don't understand history, people tearing down statues of Union soldiers who fought to free slaves because, well, that's from the Civil War, so it must be racist. People that don't understand that Jimi Hendrix and Stevie Ray Vaughan had nothing to do with slavery, so they vandalize and try to tear down their statues. These people don't care, man.
What happened?
Oh, yeah. The Jimi Hendrix statue in Seattle and the Stevie Ray Vaughan statue in Austin were vandalized, and they were talking. Someone made a video about how they need to take this statue of this Confederate general down, and they're talking about the Stevie Ray Vaughan statue. These are the people that are in the driver's seat. This is why I agree with Dave Chappelle. We're no longer in the driver's seat. Our generation was never going to really be in the driver's seat. For the most part, we've been fucking skipped over because we're the middle children of fucking history. All right, the generation that's younger than us, millennials, are firmly in the driver's seat. And if you don't think so, look at all the shit that's changing. Look at the fact that you have cities who are putting plans into place to within a year not have a police force. Major cities.
I bet they's never come to. I want to check back in the year. I bet you they'll be like, "Oh yeah, it's crazy." Oh, what? Oh yeah, we realized we couldn't do it.
Oh, I'm willing to say there's going to be a lot more people who are going to be like, "Oh, wait a minute," because if you look at all these, if you look at the people who instigate shit in these protests, whether it be the "Don't Tread on Me" Al Qaeda's, or the Seattle soy boys, it does not matter. They all fucking are yelling "fuck the police." They're all saying that the government is corrupt. Blah 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 blah. Yet the minute something happens, what's the first thing they do? Get his fuck. They try to pull a guy out of a car, and a guy fucking guns the gas and runs over one of them to get away from him because he literally has 10 people with fucking metal bars breaking out his windows trying to drag him out of his car. And what's the first thing they say? Get his license plate so we can tell the police. You mean the fascist Nazis that you've been protesting this entire time?
Yeah.
You can't have it both ways. This generation has had it both ways. They've been raised to have it, but you're going to wait. They've been raised to have it both ways. And we haven't done anything about it. We've let it happen. Now we are the chickens have come home to roost. And I'm sorry. I'm not like Aaron in this aspect. I don't fucking fetishize youth. I don't fetishize the next generation because I see all the same bullshit that I saw in my parents' generation now happening with the millennials. You're just boomers with a newer coat of paint, guys. That's all you are.
Oh, man.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Shots fired.
I'm sorry. I just had to because everything you brought up, I've been saying for a decade, and I've been saying for 6 years on this podcast, and I've had everything from agreement to being shouted down.
And Earl, quite honestly, I'm just like, wait, you finally got to a point, and I mean, it's the nicest way possible, where we've all been for a while. Like, yeah, man, it's like it's like, you ever been to Vegas, Earl?
Yeah, no.
Oh, okay. There's a spot where this preacher always sets up in Vegas. Like he's been there for like decades, just there, telling you while you're coming down the outside escalator that you're going to hell and repent and all this shit. He's got his fucking bullhorn and all that crap, and it's like telling that guy God doesn't exist. No, that's pretty much what social media has turned into. And the group of people Rich was just talking about, it's like nobody's changing it. And it's what you just, it encapsulates everything you said at the top, Earl. You're not changing anybody's mind. And it's like a religion.
I'm going to kind of put an addendum, I think Rich is right to a point, but here's the thing. I'm on the mindset, I could be way off. I don't think I am, and it's purely my opinion, but my bachelor's in history haunts me right now because I watch and I've read and I've studied and I just know certain things in history, not the history book version, actual fucking history. The way this country is right now has been going on for so long. Rich, you're talking about the millennials and everything. Look, what changes is the way the machine directs the narrative. Okay, when it was the boomers, they made people scared and fight each other over war decisions and, how to be a better American. In our generation, it started to turn to the gang violence and the drugs and how to be a better American that way. Millennials, it's black and white now. The narrative changes. The government has a machine in place that just keeps turning those fucking wheels. And every generation that comes out, if they're not mad about what the previous generation is, they find a way to piss them off against each other. The bottom line is this whole country will fight each other and stay away from the upper tier. Well, that's their whole point.
Well, we do have to work for them. I wanted to bring that up earlier. We do it. They at this point have learned our behavior so much they just know they got to just set the trap and we'll do the rest. And social media is just social media came out. They're like, hey, look, an accelerant.
Some people that I've seen and some people I've talked to personally get it, but a vast majority, a huge majority will never understand. It doesn't matter who's in the White House. Furthermore, it doesn't matter who's in Congress. That whole city is bought and paid for by lobbyists and special interests. So go out and vote Biden. Go out and vote Trump. It doesn't fucking matter. You just feel better about yourself for doing your duty to vote because the special interests and lobbyists will buy those people. It's been that way for years, decades. And it's going to continue until we stop it. And we're not going to stop it by rioting, looting, arguing.
Yeah, dude, I get it. And more power to you. Ooh, imagine there's no heaven, all that bullshit. And all your fucking, I'm really glad that you finally looked up what Rage Against the Machine were raging about. But I can't do a 2.5 hour show of you repeating the same shit. Dude, it's not going to fucking happen. It's not how we're built. We don't want it that way. It doesn't matter what we want either. We're not the ones out in the street throwing temper tantrums, getting our fucking way. Right? We're not breaking windows out, pulling people out of fucking cars, assaulting people, and then trying to run and hide behind the very police we're out there fucking protesting.
That's what cracks me up. They're not getting their way either.
They're being fucking pandered to a lot more than they have been in the past.
Right. You got to calm the masses and be like, yeah, look, you got Juneteenth. Woo. Yeah, look, we're gonna defund the cops. Yeah, we're behind that too. Woo. Leave us alone. Ain't not one politician, not one, been affected by anything that's gone on in 2020. Not a one.
Or done anything. Like that's
not a one.
We've gotten through the pandemic and all this stuff. Have you guys noticed we've gotten a big pile of nothing? There was a little bit of financial windfall there at the beginning when they realized they were shutting down the economy. Like, if we give all of our citizens have no money, this could be a problem. We got that bone thrown to us. But other than that, really, what have we gotten out of the last 4 or 5 months?
And you know what's really fucked up about that, Chris, that nobody's thought of? Or maybe they have, but just didn't say anything. One man could pay every single check that was written to the Americans in that stimulus package because he's over a trillionaire. Whoever that trillionaire dude is overseas.
I think what you're talking about was debunked. I think that was somebody going off on Twitter, and somebody with a calculator got a hold of it and went, no, he couldn't.
No, to answer your question, no, I'll tell you what I got a lot of. I got a lot of bullshit. I got a lot of pandering to me because I was considered an essential employee. I was lied to. I was told, we're going to take care of you. Don't worry, blah, blah, blah. And then when it came time to fucking pony up or shut up, first thing that fucking comes out of their mouth is, well, you're not really essential. You're required. You just work in food and delivery. You just risk your life to bring us delicious food. Why should we fucking treat you any different than we have always treated you, like the piece of shit you are?
Yep. And what's more fucked up than that, Rich, and you'll love this, is the people you were delivering to that are unemployed were making way more money than you.
Oh, for goddamn sure. And that's not even including the people that were fucking people that could work from home and get a fucking paycheck and still collect unemployment.
I'm
Which when I
saying,
heard
and
about that, I was
What?
like, oh yeah,
There's people like that?
Mm-hmm.
What?
yeah. You might see one every morning, huh?
It's crazy.
And here's the thing: they're not juking the system.
Well,
They're not lying on their applications for this type of shit. This is how it's set up. I mean, that's just all there is to it.
Well, and what makes
I'm sitting. Good.
what makes me feel bad is there's just still hearing the horror stories of there are people out there that still have not gotten paid, that have been out of work since March. It is going to be the 4th of July next week, and they still have not gotten any money.
I have a former coworker. It took him 7 weeks. He got a fat check at the end of those 7 weeks.
Yeah, but
he said he made over 200 phone calls. He's like, I got through maybe a third of them and would sit on hold until it kicked me off. And I'm like, really? The rest of it? He's like, yeah, just ring or they'd answer all, blah, 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 or busy, please call back later, whatever. And I'm like, whatever the message was that they were sending people or telling people. And I'm like, I don't. It's a good thing he's in this position. I'm not going to get into his personal position, but he's in a position where he could wait it out.
Oh, okay. Because I was saying, like, that the check isn't going to cover the amount of his life that he lost, like that he's going to lose from the stress of those 7 weeks. But if it wasn't that stressful for him, then good on him. But still,
well, I mean, it was stressful because no one likes to be fucking flat broke.
No.
And this shit, there was no lead up time into this. There wasn't, okay, well, it's Monday, and next Monday we're shutting down the country. It was, I went to work on a Wednesday night, turned on 97.1, the local sports station, heard they were shutting the NBA down. And by 10 o'clock the next morning, the governor of the state had shut the state down.
Oh, yeah. It's just, I left my radio gig that Friday night. The 14th. All right, see you guys next week. No, I will not. Haven't been there since then. It was that quick. Like, shit came out over the weekend. Yeah, you guys are fucking done. Advertisers are dropping all over the place. We don't have any money to pay you. We'll see you in July. And I can imagine somebody who was a bartender or someone who was making... everyone's throwing around like, $900 a week. There were people making $900 a day, and that went away, and it might not ever come back. Mm-hmm. I feel for those people.
And the teachers.
Teachers would be all right. It sounds like school's going down in according to my mom and my sister, school's going down in September.
Like, we'll see.
Yeah, well, let's talk about we'll see, because, well, I guess I got my wish. Remember a couple of weeks ago I was saying I was a few days away from having a few questions about what the last few months were for? Well, never mind, because it's hey, COVID's back, everybody. Well, it never really left.
Well, by the way, why is it that when people were going to their nation's capital and protesting, and half of them weren't wearing a mask, all we heard about is how they're going to kill us all by doing that? And yet I've seen, I mean, times 1,000 more protesters worldwide on video, and half of them are walking around screaming in people's faces, no masks. Because
the narrative, because this is worth it. Which, let's talk about that narrative, because can we please now abandon the narrative of these protests aren't spreading this? Because I'm hearing CNN talk about there's an uptick in over half the country now, and you're seeing stories, once every 15 minutes about how COVID's spreading through the young people, and they're blaming, it's because bars are reopened. No, come on. How short do you think our memories are?
Very
unregimented. ChristopherMedia.net.
There's a new Home Depot now open on Maurice Avenue in Maspeth. And as home improvement projects go, this is a big one. Use the product locator on our app for an in-store map to find what you need fast. And check out our new pickup lockers. They make online shopping a breeze. Of course, one thing's not new, our everyday low prices. The Home Depot, now open near Maurice Avenue and Long Island Expressway in Maspeth. And always open at HomeDepot.com. The Home Depot. How doers get more done.
Of all the streaming services out there, only one is different. Discovery Plus. It's the greatest collection of real-life entertainment on the planet. 55,000 episodes of food, love, true crime, home, from networks like TLC, HGTV, and tons more. Yes! With stars like Chip and Jo, an exclusive new series from 90 Day Fiancé, all in one place. Bam! Discovery Plus. Stream now. Stream what you love.
ChristopherMedia.net. Unregimented.
Remember when this initially happened and it was, oh yeah, don't wear a mask, blah, 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 blah. And it was like, wait, what? If you go to the hospital, everybody's going to be fucking wearing a mask if they're treating people with this shit. So why the fuck shouldn't we wear a mask? And then, okay, now wear a mask. Well, it has to be a certain type of mask. Well, actually now it can just be any type of mask. It could just be any type of cloth as long as blah, blah, blah. And then it comes out and it's just a blip in the news. Oh, yeah. And I said this exact thing on this show and just a sea of fucking crickets was what I got in response. But, hey, fair enough. I guess it did come off as conspiracy theory shit, but kind of turns out I was right. The reason they said they didn't fucking tell people to wear masks is they didn't have enough. So they just fucking flat out told us a lie instead of saying, look, we don't have enough masks for this situation. Can you please save them for people who actually need them?
Oh, because,
don't treat them like toilet paper.
Well, to be fair, they said that with toilet paper, and we did not listen. So it's like I've tried to tell you guys with the airlines. When you guys try to rag on the airlines, no, we've taught them to treat us like that. And I'd say in that situation, like we kind of showed them with toilet paper, like, well, we can't tell them to be cool because they're not going to be cool. Well, yeah, no, don't wear masks. It doesn't matter. Don't wear masks. Okay, we're back to we can't have honest conversations, right? Because if we weren't shitty and they said, hey, don't wear the masks, we need them for the healthcare professionals, and we as a society and a country went, all right, we can do this, they'd have told us.
I really want to chime in, but Rich will get mad at me.
Go ahead.
It's because it's their fallback. You have a deadly virus, right? I will never forget the meme I saw on Facebook. The kid and Johnny Depp sitting on a seat. Dad, why is everybody protesting and rioting? Well, because the COVID scam is fading and the murder hornets were a bust. They have to keep you going. All right. Have you heard about the Sahara dust storm that was supposed to hit?
I was going to put that in the unregimented chat for the last 4 weeks. Maybe it's probably 2, but every day, Sahara dust clouds heading for Texas, Sahara dust clouds heading for Oklahoma,
right.
And I'm sitting there going like, it's been coming for 2 fucking weeks. You've been saying it's going to be hitting this week for 2 weeks.
And I haven't heard about murder hornets at all forever.
Yeah, those are a bust.
So if we can't keep people scared about the dust cloud and that didn't bite, and we can't keep people scared about hornets, well, what do we got? Well, let's tell them that the riots and everything has skyrocketed the coronavirus. They'll be scared about that and they'll talk about that forever. Here we go. Whatever it is they need to do. See, and the other thing I think I said on this very podcast, America in and of itself is the youngest country in the world. Okay? We have a 2-party system and we're the only 2-party system in the world. Is that because we're right and the entire rest of the world is fucking nuts?
Well, I think economy-wise we got it right.
And we're like, America's like an angry teenager with ADD or ADHD. We have an attention span of 2 weeks. That's all you get. That's it. And then we need something else. Or we're going to call you bullshit and then get pissed and then come find you. And they don't want that. No, you can't do that. So just keep feeding them. And whatever it is, race, whatever, dust storm, corona, whatever it is, just keep them going that way. Stay away from me. It's like giving somebody your pocket change on the corner. Don't come near me. You fucking stink to high heaven. Here's $1. Here, fuck, what do I have? I got 50 cents. Here. And you throw it at him. Just keep walking that way. Same thing.
I mean, yeah, great. You've identified a problem in 2020 that a lot of other people that I talked to did a decade ago. Now what? What do we do? Because I'm going to tell you, that's another reason I'm like, yeah, this is kind of getting old. Like, I'm really tired of, like, no solutions being offered by anybody, but everybody's telling everybody else how bad they're fucking up.
Yeah.
You know, they're kind of like that family member that you go to do something, and they know, and you know, they know you're going to do it, and then, you know, let's say you make an investment and it didn't work out in your favor as much as you thought it would, and they go, "Oh, that was stupid. Why'd you even invest in that?" All information that could have helped me weeks ago before I did invest in it. Now you want to fucking sit here with your hindsight being 2020 and fucking basically try to backseat drive my life for me? Fuck you. That's how I am. I okay, yeah, we got problems. What about some solutions? We know what the problems are. Believe me, you can't turn on your phone, log into any social media outlet, turn on any news. It's all you hear about.
Yes.
Your solutions are in your presidential candidates, Rich, because you could hear about all the problems all day, all the divides that they want to talk about, and then you look at Biden and Trump and go, well, yeah, Biden's a fucktard, but he completely understands how to help this issue. Well, Trump can't stay off Twitter, but I think he has a process that's going to help this issue. It's all pushing for you to vote in November, like it's going to make a fucking difference, and it's not. Well, there's your solutions.
Well, it matters in just more than just that race. That's the other problem. Is I explained to my sister-in-law a few weeks ago, like, hey, there's elections every November, not just every 4 Novembers. Like, if you want to make a difference, that's how. Because you know what? Letting people over fucking 60 make these choices for you, like, you're going to get what 60-year-olds want if you don't vote every November, because that's who votes.
But once again, we see the problem. And by the way, one of the things that I actually did get sucked into a back and forth with a guy, because he was just insisting on just being just painfully obtuse for the sake of it, and was trying to say, well, so he's doing this. I would say something, and he go, so what you're saying is, and I'm like, no, what I'm saying is what I said. Don't put fucking words in my mouth, jackass. Don't play wordplay with me. This ain't my first day on the fucking internet. All right? But I got sucked into a debate, and, I mentioned, this generation, blah, blah, blah. Oh, here we go. Okay, boomer. Okay. All this, you just hate all these liberal millennials. I said, whoa. Go back and read every single fucking thing I've wrote. Again, because obviously you didn't get it the first 2 times you fucking read it. Where did I mention and where did I politicize this issue whatsoever? I think you're fucking retarded from both sides of the fucking aisle. Personally, you millennial Trumpers, you throw your temper tantrums, you have your shit fits, just like the snowflakes that you fucking love to hate on. You're no fucking different. That's the sad part. Everybody's so busy about wanting to fit in and fit into this bullshit mentality of, oh, well, if my side says this, I have to agree with them completely. No, the fuck you don't. Why? I don't understand. What is so terrifying to these people about being an individual and having an individual thought of your own? And that's where people, well, what's your solution? You're just pointing out problems. Well, maybe, I don't know, start teaching people and making people understand that you're responsible for your actions. You are not responsible for actions of people that look like you, whether they're good or bad. You don't get to take credit for them, and you don't get to fucking take the blame for it.
Also,
but we've decided not to do that in this country.
Opposing viewpoints won't kill you. You should actually listen to them. Ever heard the phrase, know your enemy? But as soon as something shows up that you don't want to hear, shut it down.
Shut it down. Oh, yeah. And I mean, those of us that are old enough and lived through it in the 80s, that was the swan song of the religious right having so much control over shit in this country. And I'd say probably the beginning of the end for them started with the PMRC, because that left a lot of bad taste in a lot of people's mouths. And hey, religion isn't controlling the airwaves, controlling radio waves like it used to. I mean, granted, radio's been neutered since the Janet Jackson Super Bowl titty incident. I mean, anyone who knows anybody even remotely in radio knows the bullshit rules and everything that came down after that.
Yeah, you just keep it light now. That's it.
Yeah, exactly.
But I almost feel like Nostradamus, and it's not a joke, because I've been saying this for years, and I know Rich hates that I'm going to repeat it, but I'm going to repeat it. The solution to this problem is very simple: revolt. Everybody in the everybody wants to talk about the Civil War. Fuck the Civil War. Everybody in the American Revolution did not agree on every fucking issue there was.
But that shit ain't happening, dude. It's not going to happen. There's a way of life to lose. There's a way of...
We're as close to it as it's ever going to be. And it has to happen.
We have something to lose. It won't happen.
Dude, there's a way of life that nobody likes anymore. Trust me, there is something in your life that you hate.
If all I did was watch TV and read social media, I would believe that.
No, there's something in your life that is not right for you. Be it your house isn't big enough, you want a new car, your wife's not the way you want her to look, something. You don't have the 2 dogs, you don't have the white picket fence. There is something not right in your life.
And it's being a human.
And that's exactly how it was back in 1770. And people were like, you know what? And now the thing that tipped it all off was taxation without representation.
Hey, you want to show me where this utopia exists? Show me. I'll move with you there.
Hang on a minute. And everybody said no. On top of everything that that I have wrong in my life, now you want to add this? A couple of people dumped some tea in the harbor.
Yeah,
and the whole country was like, yep, fuck you guys.
No, well, hey, history major, the country didn't exist at that point. That's what I'm trying to say. There's something to lose at this point. There's a way of life to lose. It won't happen. Then it could happen. There was nothing to lose.
We came here to be free of the rule of Britain. That's what they came here for.
Okay.
And that's what was threatened. And they were like, I'm done. I'm done with you.
Okay, well, dude, you're either refusing to understand where he's coming from.
I understand where he's coming from. A lot of people come from the same place.
Dude.
And that's why it's so hard to think about a revolution.
You can't get fucking protesters to agree on what fucking statue to tear down and why. So they're just fucking going, hold on, they're just going whole hog and tearing everything down because they're too stupid to know any different. You want these people to revolt? You want these people to be our new founding fathers? I sure as fuck don't. Because that's who the fuck's going to do it.
Yeah, it's going to be the young ones.
No, dude, that's the beauty of a revolt. Because the people who hate racism and want the statues torn down, the people that hate gay rights and abortion and racism and all of that, can agree on one thing: the system needs to change. That's all they can agree on. And they're right, because for everybody that has an issue, it's the system that needs to change. Not you, Rich, not me, not anybody. The system has to work for the people, by the people. And it doesn't. And if everybody could agree that we need that system to change, take the lobbyists, take the fucking special interests out of the fucking Capitol, put the people's interests back into the Capitol, it would be a better place for every single person in this country.
Well, then I hope you're not a fan of capitalism, because that's how you do that.
I don't care about isms or is. Racist, sexist,
really? I'd like to
capitalism. I don't care about any of that shit.
I'd like to know that the money I make is mine. Fuck yeah, I care about that.
Chris, I care about me and mine. You care about you yours. Yes. So together we can go create a system that works for both of us. Because I promise you, dude, right now, that system is working against both of us and everybody else, except for the elite and the rich. It's the only thing that system right now is working for.
Man.
So you want your money to be yours. You want you to have what you got. I got it. I care about me and mine too. The black people care about theirs too. The gay people do. And the Asian, everybody does, Chris. The only thing we can agree on and need to agree on is that the system needs to change. And if everybody can agree on that, then we're going to have a revolution. Then we'll have a change. And all this bullshit riot and crying and belly aching is going to stop.
But you just said it right there. Nobody's going to agree on it.
You're right. Because it's easier to take the path of least resistance. To go out, loot, riot, protest, scream to high heaven on social media is your daily dose of, I did my part to be better in America. That's the path of least resistance. Your opinion has been heard, stated, shown to the world. Good on you. Change not a fucking thing. However, good on you. You did your part for the day. You know, Rich touched on it all for years. He said, SJW, social justice warrior. Woo fucking who. So go out there and take your path of least resistance. Put your point out there. Try to convince as many Americans as you can. Ain't gonna matter a goddamn. You can have everybody in this country on your side. If you don't have the special interest or the lobbyists, you ain't doing shit.
You want to take money out of it, then you have to change our economy. Because lobbyists, that's all built on capital. That's built on capitalism. That's So I mean, you're talking about rebuilding from the ground up.
Yes, I'm talking about.
I don't think we have that in us.
I'm talking about going to Washington, D.C. and not taking money out of our economy and our way of life and everything, but the damn system in D.C., dude. The Clintons were a backwoods Arkansas couple that barely had a pot to piss in Arkansas. They're multi-millionaires in D.C.
Yeah.
How did that happen, dude? Well, George Washington, Abraham Lincoln, any founding father, any president back in those days.
Book deals, speaking tours. I mean, trust me, you get elected president, there's a lot of extra commerce coming your way. And you get $500,000 a year till you die, even after you're done being president. You just get $500,000 a year just for rolling out of bed.
Our founding fathers, and for a while, our presidents didn't get rich by being president. Hell, a few of them died trying to change this world. All right? But now all of a sudden, just grease the pockets and sit in the Oval Office.
You are talking about a total. You're talking about total from the ground up, because we have to change our economy. Like, if you want to talk logistically how this would happen, you have to.
No, you don't have to change the economy, dude. You really don't. You have to change the capital. You have to pull the lobbyists and special interests.
What do you think?
If Trump comes in there and says that from now on college is free, he's not. But if he does, period, end of file, and his base in Congress agree with him and vote with him, then it's fucking changed. Period, end of file. If they don't, then they have to work out an agreement. And they actually have to communicate. Now, what they have in place right now is if President Trump says college is free for everybody, and the special interest groups are like, fuck no, it ain't. Here, take some money, take this, and go to the Congress and here's your money, and it's only an example. Everybody's paid. Okay, then next year, tuition goes up countrywide. That's the difference, dude. You don't have to change our economy, the way you and I spend money, the way you and I earn money. You have to take it out of D.C. They get a base salary. That's it. You're not allowed to take campaign donations, book tours. This is not a popularity contest. You're a leader. You're supposed to lead for us. You're supposed to be one of us. That's what made President Obama so big when he was running. Change we can believe in. I came from a white single mom. I was raised poor. I was going through the struggle. Change we can believe. Bullshit. You were bought and paid for the minute you won. It doesn't matter who you put there in either building, the Capitol or the White House. They're paid for. Everybody has a price in this country, and until that stops in D.C., ain't going to matter what you do in this country.
You have to get rid of capitalism. You have to make money not matter.
Good hell.
You have to make money not matter. What you're talking about is money has to not matter in this fucking utopia you speak of. For what you're saying that truly happened, money has to not matter. And that means capitalism goes away.
Okay. That's my Sporgy answer. Okay.
All right. Oh, I think Rich left. For real.
No, he didn't leave. He just mad at me for reiterating the same bullshit. But, Chris, you don't have to take money, the economy, and shake up everything in our economy.
Yeah, you do. If you want money, if you want money to not matter, you have to make it not matter. Now, we convert to a new economy.
Chris, stop. It can't matter to the politicians, not us. You can't sit there and get paid by special interests to vote a certain way when people already voted for you because you promised them you were going to vote this way. I will vote A. You have my word. Put me in the Senate, and I will vote.
You know, even if you did, you're right. But you know what you're talking about will never happen, because even if you took money out of it, it's all about influence. They'd find another way to influence for their vote. It's really what it is. Money's just the way they influence it. You get rid of money, they'll just find another way to influence people.
Not if we change the system.
To what? You keep saying change it. To what? Change it to what?
To make sure that
you're just throwing around ideas. Change it to what?
Okay. Let me tell you. You could put term limits on people.
We have them on the president.
Right, but not on Congress. There's people that's been in Congress longer than I've been alive.
Well, here's the thing. The people that vote on term limits for Congress would be Congress. So that's not happening.
And you got to think after a revolt, Chris.
Unregimented. ChristopherMedia.net.
There's a new Home Depot now open on Maurice Avenue in Maspeth. And as home improvement projects go, this is a big one. Use the product locator on our app for an in-store map to find what you need fast. And check out our new pickup lockers. They make online shopping a breeze. Of course, one thing's not new. Our everyday low prices. The Home Depot, now open near Maurice Avenue and Long Island Expressway in Maspeth, and always open at HomeDepot.com. The Home Depot, how doers get more done.
Discovery Plus is the greatest collection of real-life entertainment on the planet. 55,000 episodes from networks like TLC, HGTV, and tons more. Woohoo! Discovery Plus. Stream now. Stream what you love.
There's a new Home Depot now open on Maurice Avenue in Maspeth. And as home improvement projects go, this is a big one. Use the product locator on our app for an in-store map to find what you need fast. And check out our new pickup lockers. They make online shopping a breeze. Of course, one thing's not new. Our everyday low prices. The Home Depot, now open near Maurice Avenue and Long Island Expressway in Maspeth. And always open at HomeDepot.com. The Home Depot, how doers get more done.
ChristopherMedia.net. Unregimented.
What would this revolt look like? These are all pie in the sky ideas, man. They sound great coming out of your mouth, but really, how does all this look?
No, it looks like a country that has stopped and rallied in D.C. Yeah, an economy would be
okay. We all go to Washington D.C. What next? We all get on a plane or a bus, or we drive to D.C. We all agree to meet up at the National Mall. What next?
And we're not moving until everybody can sit at a table and come to some sort of agreement about the way a system needs to be put in that is for the people, by the people.
Okay, and we're going to peacefully do this?
Mm-hmm.
The whole country is just going to...
The entire country.
This just now speaks to the ludicrousness of your idea. This will not happen.
I understand. Hence why this will never change. It's only going to get worse.
Okay, so we just talked for a half an hour about... Okay.
Because ludicrous. So many people say it like you do. That it can't happen. It won't happen. It's happened a few times in this country.
When?
1776.
Okay, before the country existed, over 200 years ago. You have a more recent example, because you said it happened several times.
Civil War.
Okay, something 150 years ago.
1920s, 1960s.
What happened in the 20s?
The women's suffrage acts, 1929. No.
Yeah, but none of all of these, all of the system you're talking about taking down, the system was intact the entire time.
Yeah, but they changed. Women had no right to vote. Black people were 3/5 of a person. And that was specific groups, Chris. That wasn't a country as a whole. That was the South rising up against the North in the Civil War. That was women demanding fair treatment. That was black people wanting equal rights. If everybody came together and did it, we could change for the better good of everybody.
If my aunt had balls, she'd be my uncle. We played
the
if game all day.
But I'm saying it's happened a few times in the past. It can happen again, and it should, and it needs to. Otherwise, we're going to, I've been sitting here talking at no end about it, and we'll talk about the exact same issues for years. And the only thing that's changed is the rich gets richer.
Man, open for suggestions other than just go to Washington.
There is nothing else you can do. There really, truly isn't. What else can you do, Chris, to change the way this country's ran?
Vote every November?
You can't. But that doesn't matter. As soon as you vote somebody in, they're paid for. As soon as they get into there. Well, they're still a freshman and haven't been confirmed.
So then why bother at all? Is that the road you're going down?
That's my point exactly. It does not matter. You can yell about it all day long. They don't care. Once they're there, money talks. And I can do this the rest of the show. I don't want to, but you can look.
We've taken up an hour of
it. Well, I'm saying, but you can look at the history of Congress and the president and everything else. How much they've promised to do how much. And then once they get there, they're like, yeah, but they paid more. They're not going to say it, but they're going to have a reason for it. They've had a change of heart. Scientific evidence proves this way. I had an emergency in my family that convinced me of this.
Alrighty. You there, Rich? He really left.
Rich hates me. No, I still show him, but he still hates me.
No, I think he took off his headset. I heard some rustling. You started ranting. I heard him swear, and then I heard some rustling. I think he threw his headset off.
Chris, I just don't understand the point anymore. I just don't understand it. Why argue? For instance, the NASCAR, dude, with Bubba Wallace. Is it a noose? Is it used to pull the garage door down? It's been there since October of last year. Yeah. The same thing.
15 FBI agents came out and confirmed that, and wasn't good enough for Bubba.
And you look at the picture. It's in the shape of a noose, but it's been there since October. It wasn't put there on purpose for him.
And it was fashioned as a pull down for the garage door.
So we can argue A or B all day. The fact is it was put there in October and not for Bubba. I don't care if it was made to look like a noose or a pull down garage door thing. It wasn't put there specifically about Bubba being black in NASCAR.
What's scary about this situation is, are we now entering a scary new space where anything that could be viewed as offensive has got to go? Like you said in the chat, like if we're now heading into everything is at face value. Like, should we just cancel comedy? Should we just tell all stand-up comedians like it's over? Because if we're headed at face value only, that's where we're heading. Like I don't like that.
Well, we fought forever about the Second Amendment and everything else. Why not put the First Amendment on the block? Let's chop that shit up. Yeah, freedom of speech, comedians, you're done.
And then, and sports is next, right? Because they're already halfway there anyway.
At this point, they're about three-quarters if you start reading everything they're doing now.
Competition is toxic masculinity. God help them if they ever just put an open mic into a locker room and got guys talking freely. I don't like this.
I was reading today that people were being racist, but yet still support the LA Lakers. And somebody said, well, how can you be a racist and support a team that's predominantly black?
Or the NBA in general.
A sport that's predominantly black. Yeah. How do you do that? You're racist against black people, but these black people don't count because they're athletes?
Oh, it's the old trope. These are the good ones. It's that attitude. Not these guys. Yeah, and I feel in that whole thing, too, I feel everyone was quick to jump to conclusions. If I'm an Alabama citizen, I might be a little pissed off. Like, hey, wait a minute. Why'd you just assume, like, you know, and I get it, because, you know, especially when I saw, I was like, oh, Talladega? Oh, that makes sense. You know, I did it, too. But I wonder if this was a race out in California, if people would have been so quick to make that assumption. And he didn't even see it. That's the other thing. This was some, like, woke warrior, like, trying to be a hero. Like, oh, there's a noose in his stall. Like, he didn't even see it. Like, so why are we offended? If he didn't even see it, why the fuck are we offended? Why is he offended if he didn't even see it?
Well, I was looking at an NBA net on the rim, and I'm like, I mean, if you follow it up high enough, it could be a noose.
Right, yeah, what's next? We're getting rid of all knots. Would you say lassos? Cowboys, look out, lassos are next.
Yeah, those lassos are in danger, I'm telling you.
Yeah. Like, there's this... Oh, if we're going to just start doing... Aren't we in Hammer versus looking for a nail territory, too? Isn't that just... The whole country's just turned into a bunch of hammers looking for some nails?
Yep. And it doesn't take much. You know, you don't have to be a nail sitting on a board. If you're just popped up a little bit, and it's not just one hammer. There's a group. There's an entire group waiting to smash you. And they'll put you through the board. They don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
Which brings me back to this mentality. Whatever happened to bullies? Stop bullying.
Right?
You know, these people with strong opinions that are so right because they're so good on their opinion. Yeah. Aren't you being a little bit of a bully?
Yeah, well, too, and a lot of these people doing the canceling are a lot of the cancel culture crowd. Yeah, is against bullying, but only unless you piss them off, then they will bully the fuck out of you.
Yeah, that was so last year though, so we can't talk about that anymore.
Right?
Yeah, you cancel a show that's been on for decades with cops. Why? I mean, seriously, have you ever watched Cops, Chris?
Oh yeah, it's entertaining.
I swear to God, there was more white people being arrested on Cops than blacks.
I view it as an instructional show of how not to act when you get pulled over.
That's what I looked at.
Number one, biggest lesson I've learned from Cops: don't run. Number one lesson: never run. In your car, on foot.
I learned that lesson from Cop and a Half. from Burt Reynolds. Where he's like, don't run. I hate running. And then runs the guy over with his Mustang. I was like, oh, okay, that's a cop? All right, don't run. Yeah. Got it.
Wait, getting rid of cop shows isn't going to... And then, too, what happened this week? Was it 30 Rock and Scrubs? All pulled episodes that had quote-unquote blackface in it. Oh, Jimmy Kimmel had to apologize.
With all of this going down, my only question is how in the actual fuck is South Park surviving?
Trust me. There's been a call to cancel South Park for a while, and it's gotten louder the last couple years.
That show is blatantly making fun of many hot topic issues.
Well, I think that's the thing that saves it, that's kept it on the air, is they make fun of everybody. Everybody. Nobody's off limits to South Park.
No, even Jesus and the devil both get made fun of.
Jesus is one of the first people they made fun of. But
and the devil and Saddam, that was funny.
There is this crazy overcompensation happening, and I was telling my wife, there's going to be a swift. Dude, we're going to get Trump again. Because right now the backlash is going to be swift and severe of this everything you do is racist mentality that's coming out right now. This all white people are the backlash is going to be swift and hard in November if this just keeps up.
Look, Trump always will be my icon for how fed up America is. He's not the great president or anything, not even qualified for the job. But here's the thing. If you thought Hillary Clinton was a murderous flying bitch and all that, I don't care what you say about Joe Biden. What did he touch women? Does he not? Is he a pedophile? I don't care. Okay, I don't want to get into the semantics of him. However, when I see this man on video touching and smelling every fucking woman that's by him, that just creeps me out, dude. I don't care what else you have good or bad to say about the man. That shit creeps me out.
I just slowly see a guy who's losing it. The guy who's nearing 80, and he's slowly. Trust me, when you watch him speak, you can tell Joe ain't all there. The Joe that we had under the Vice President Joe is gone. You know, it's. I'm not saying it's on the level. Have you seen that Trump commercial that's out?
Yeah.
It's got Biden at the end going, blah, 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 blah. Like, I don't think it's to that level that Donnie's trying to portray him at. But at the same time, like, you watch him speak, you watch him, he is, an old boss of mine said this on social media, and ever since he said this about Joe Biden, it's all I can see in the way he acts. He said, Joe Biden is slowly slipping into dementia before our eyes. And ever since he said that, every time I see, like, God damn it. It's all like, because he is. You're seeing a guy getting close to 80, and he used to be sharp, and he's not as sharp as he was. Like, he doesn't understand the technology, things like that. Like, it's.
Yeah, when everybody around here in Kansas and I start talking about, you know, the politicians and shit, and they're like, why the hell didn't they go with Bernie? How can they go with Joe over Bernie? And I simply said, well, because Bernie's price was too high. Or he flat out said no. Maybe Bernie Sanders is a good man, and flat out was like, I ain't buying in shit. I mean what I say, and I say what I mean, and I mean when I say it. Now, maybe he is that guy.
Now, Bernie's problem is his ideas are a little too close to socialism, and he kept saying the word socialism. That's also what happened with Elizabeth Warren. You're never gonna sell yourself to people in Wichita, Kansas, using the word socialism. You are not.
Yeah.
And I think we've also talked about it on this show. Bernie's election was over with that heart attack.
Yeah.
That kind of sealed his fate. So everybody went, that's right, this guy's almost 80. But if he lives through, he might not live through his term. I mean, this is definitely...
Joe won't even remember his term if he gets reelected.
But Joe's running mate is going to be so important. Because that person may end up being the president or the acting president.
I mean, that's how fucked up this country is. We might elect a person that won't even remember he was president.
Well, one could argue the end of Reagan's days. How lucid was he really? Was it a puppet regime the last year or so?
Yeah, maybe. Maybe he was just trying to be an actor again.
No, he was... He had term limits. He had term limits, man.
Oh, dude. Like I said, dude, my degree haunts me. I see so much in the world, and then I see this country, and I'm like, how, why? And then I remember, oh yeah, just like racism isn't hereditary, it's taught. So is your way of life. And your way of life is taught by multimedia, friends, relatives, and everybody teaches you the same thing. You gotta be, you hate black people. You love gay people. Don't hurt the dog. Cops are bad. It just different societies will teach you different things. And if you turn on TV, I was talking to a friend of mine and I said, look, whenever you've turned on a TV from I don't know, 1990 on, all right, when they say, thug or gang violence or murder, it's always a black picture on the screen. And I said, for white people, we get serial killers. We're serial killers. and terrorist acts, you know, but black people are the immediate threat. You know, we get a white mass murderer every now and again, but if you go down, you know, to walk out to your car at 11 o'clock at night, chances are somebody who is black and has their pants hung down is going to come at you and try to kill you or rape you. And that's the way they've taught this society to be. And then they wonder why the hell a cop would be so quick to shoot. You know, a friend of mine said, you can be over in wars as a soldier, and within moments of being in war, you're going to come home and have PTSD for the rest of your life. You're just screwed because of the things you've witnessed. And then we tell these cops, hey, go out there, you know, 10, 20, 30 years in the street and deal with all of this hate and violence and, you know, people that came back from war, etc. And then be okay with it. And then if they so happen to get scared or get, you know, a brush or a phone or something looks like a weapon, well, they're racist. No, they're mentally fucking disturbed.
I don't know, man. We talked about a lot of grand ideas tonight.
Well, I mean, if a soldier, it takes a matter of minutes for him to be fucked up for the rest of his life, what do you think the cop's doing on the street, Chris? He sees families killing each other. You know, he sees people just doing brutal, terrible shit that you and I don't even think of want to see. And then he has to go home and go back to work the next day.
Well, that's what you sign up for, though.
I understand, but at the end of the day, they're human.
So I'm sure there's counseling offered with the judge. There should be.
There is, but that ain't going to stop you. If you see, oh, okay, I'm not racist or anything, but if you as a cop,
but that usually means you are when you have to say that.
I know if you announce it, then you must be. But what I'm about to say will sound racist. If you as a cop go out and you see a black guy draw a gun on you, on your partner, on your fellow officer, and start firing, then the next time you stop, say, black person, and it kind of looks like a similar situation, when they reach for whatever they reach for, a gun, a phone, whatever, your mind as a human being, I don't care how many counseling sessions you've been in, tells you gun.
Well, then you shouldn't be a cop. You shouldn't be a cop then. If that's how you're wired, you shouldn't be a cop. If you're now going to think, I thought as a police officer you were trained to just neutralize a threat, and everybody's a threat.
You are, and at the end of the day, dude, they're still human beings. So you can train and counsel a human being any which way you want. Some people are just mentally strong and get it. The vast majority are fucking human beings at the end of the day, and shit happens.
Well, then they should be in another line of work.
Then you will have a very small police force of 3 of people that actually can handle that type of stress.
I think there's plenty of people who can handle it. We don't hire them.
I think there's plenty of people that
you make starting salary $30,000 and you don't require a college degree. You get what you pay for.
Well, that, and I think there's plenty of people that they do hire that can handle it. I think there's some that can't, and that's the videos you see. So it's not all cops are good or bad. Some cops are human, and some can deal with being human.
The cops who can't shouldn't be cops.
Yeah, there you go.
It's pretty simple.
Well, that's in and of itself pretty simple, but I'm not going to look at it and go, oh, he's racist. No, he's fucking human. You know, it was the guy who killed Floyd racist? Nobody's going to know, except the guy that killed Floyd. Well, you could clearly see he held him down for 9 minutes. Colin said he can't breathe. How many times has he been in a situation with a guy who says, I can't breathe? And how many times has he seen on videos and been trained that if you let him up and you
why'd he kneel on the neck of somebody who wasn't fighting him? We've all seen the video. That guy wasn't fighting him.
He was trained. He was in the moment. Things beside and around him started getting heated. He wasn't paying attention. I didn't say he was right, dude. But the question is, did he do it because he's racist? You can't prove that.
Probably.
Maybe.
Would he have knelt on a white guy's neck? Probably not.
Don't know. Wasn't a white guy there. Was a black guy. Okay, I'll give you a comparative as to how I compare it.
He was neutralizing a threat that wasn't there.
I'm with you. Hang on a minute. I'm with you. But let me show you where it's clear for me. In 1992, Rodney King got the teetotal hell beat out of him. The teetotal hell beat out of him by 4 cops. Rodney King wasn't resisting, wasn't a threat, wasn't anything. He just got the shit kicked out of him. There's no other reason, for me, personally, my opinion, why they did that to that man. Okay, this is one guy, one cop in a very hot situation. And he didn't beat him or anything. He just sat there and detained him. I'm not saying and getting into the semantics, was he right or wrong with the neck? Of course he was wrong. Of course that's not how you should treat people, especially when they're not fighting. But to say that he did it purely because he was black, you don't know. I could give you the picture on as soon as we get done with this, or right now, where a white guy's down and 2 cops were kneeling on his neck.
Did that guy die?
No.
And there's a difference.
So because the white guy didn't have a health condition and the black guy did, it's racist?
White guy's home with his family. That's the difference.
But it's not because they're racist.
And I want to know why were there 2 cops? Was he fighting? It's just saying that there were 2 cops. Yeah, great. I want to know why there were 2 knees on this guy's neck. This guy was trying to grab both of these guys' gun, and it took 2 guys to hold him down. And fuck yeah, kneel on his neck. But George Floyd was not resisting arrest. George Floyd did nothing to cause to have his neck be knelt on.
And I understand that. And I'm not arguing that. You're getting to the semantics of the right and wrong. Yes, he was absolutely 100% wrong the way he handled the situation with George Floyd. But did he handle it that way because he's racist? You, me, a jury of 12? Nobody's going to know that except the cop that knelt on George Floyd.
Or the 19 complaints of excessive force against him, where most people were black. That could also maybe prove that.
No, dude, that just proves that he had a problem being a cop. It didn't prove that he had a problem with being a white cop with black people.
Alrighty. I think we should wrap it up. I think Rich is coming back.
I hate me.
I think Rich is coming back because it's getting to that time of night where he'd have to wrap it up anyway.
Rich is actually busy right now studying a revolt against me, so.
Ha. Well, yeah. Abbreviated, but still a show. Thanks everybody who's been listening. We are at Unregimented Pod on Twitter, at Unregimented on Instagram. Email unregimented@ChristopherMedia.net. Go to ChristopherMedia.net, hit the Amazon banner, hit the PayPal button. You can help us out that way. And where do you listen to us other than ChristopherMedia.net? Well, how about Spreaker.com? How about Spotify? How about Apple Podcasts? How about Google Podcasts? Stitcher, iHeartRadio, anywhere there are podcasts, we are there. Thank you for listening. Rich says bye, and I say bye. And, yeah, we'll see you next week.
Peace out, y'all.
Estar adelante de mis pagos mensuales siempre fue un desafío y no creía que hubiera otra forma de manejar mi dinero. Solía pagar cargos por cada cheque de cajero y giro postal, hasta que escuché sobre Chase Secure Banking. Ahora puedo pagar servicios, cobrar cheques y enviar dinero, todo por un cargo mensual por servicio de $4.95. Así que decidí darle una segunda oportunidad a la banca.
Visita chase.com/Secure Banking para abrir tu cuenta sin depósito mínimo. Chase, logra más con lo que tienes.
Se aplican cargos por ATMs que no pertenecen a Chase. JP Morgan Chase Bank, N.A., miembro de FDIC.
Unregimented. ChristopherMedia.net.